Hello and welcome back to the second day of International E-Workshop, which is organized by GeoVigyan. We hope you all are doing well and are healthy and fine. We have with us Mr. Abiola Sylvester, who is a research scholar in computer and information sciences at University of Arkansas, Little Rock, USA. He is Masters in Exploration Geophysics from Federal University of Technology, and he has worked with the industry also as a data engineer, geophysics, and software engineer. And currently, he is doing research and working on misinformation online through social behavior studies by applying machine learning and graphs theory, amongst other advanced computational principles, and will spend some years doing so. And today he is with us on second day of this workshop to give talk on data analytics and machine learning in geoscience. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Good day, everyone, and all the participants. We had a wonderful time last week, and I must say that it was interesting having all of you. Essentially, this is a wonderful opportunity to share time with many of you. I'm trying to share my screen. Just waiting for it to come up. Okay. So let's get started. So basically, last week we discussed couple of stuff, and some of the stuff that we discussed last week, we take a general closer look at what this entails in terms of geoscience and how you can apply it, and specifically we looked at some of these. Sorry, let me just change this into a present mode. So basically, I told you guys that here are some of the tools that you need to master: Python, pandas, and all that. And specifically, I was able to walk you guys through some basic Python, which you can build upon yourself at your leisure time. Programs like these are not always exhaustive because we are very much having to fit in a whole lot of important stuff within a time frame. But I'm sure many of you have started digging deep into some stuffs and all that. So specifically, I would go straight to some of the stuff that we did last week. Just a moment. Okay, so specifically, so last week we take a look at how you can.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry to interrupt. Can you please increase the size?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, where is this stuff? Okay, I think I can use Control plus Zoom key. Can you see clearly now? Is it better now? Okay, let me zoom a bit. Okay. Sorry. Right. Okay, so specifically we looked at sorry, I think it's is it too big or too small? I want to be sure. Okay, let me reduce a bit. Okay, so specifically we looked at some of these important concepts in Python. We looked at lists, we looked at dictionary, we looked at how you can create a function, we looked at for loop and all that. And in carrying out data analytics and all that, most of the time you have your data in a format that you would have to read or pass some of this data essentially. And today I would be showing us an example of that. If you recollect, I got this file last week, and I would do some stuff around it today, and we'll convert some of this stuff into like a data frame, like a data frame using writing some code about it, and also demonstrating how you can view it and create a plot and all that with it using pandas and matplotlib essentially. So the file that I have with me here is a last file, and typically this is like an ASCII or a text file, and this have some key important information. But how as a data person, or as somebody that is working on project like this, how do you make information, or how do you mine important information out of this set of data? For instance, if I looked at this data set, I would see clearly that there are some important characteristics. For instance, there is a hash data curve data, and after it I have the tilde sign a, then I have some of the logs that were run. We have depth, we have caliper, gamma ray log, and two different type of gamma ray log and all that, till the row b log. And essentially these are the value for each one. So essentially this is value for depth, caliper, um, and other important information that you have there. So this file continues till the last point. I mean, traditionally there are softwares that you use and import this into and work with it, but with recent innovations and all that, it means that geoscientists can also build a script themselves that can perform some of this sort of tasks, and then visualize it, and also plot some stuff from it. So another thing that I would like to touch today, if I don't overshoot time, because I'm mindful of time, is I also got this data online, geochemical data. I just downloaded it this morning, and it has some georeferencing information. If time permits, I would do that, but if time doesn't permit, I will just do it and send over to the instructor. They can share with you guys. So we can see it also has the WGS information for both lat long and the country, state, and all that. So I would first start with this, and if time permits and all that, I would see if I can touch that too as well. So let's look at this. How do we read this file? How do we read this? I don't want to demo this using a library. I would write it up from scratch so that you can have a clue of what it is like and how to think about some of this stuff. So specifically, I have this file that I've created that is called readlast.py. So readlast.py is what I would be using. And if we look at the file again, if we want to pass this information, what are the key important things that we need? Let's say we don't want to even deal with any stuff at the beginning of this. So essentially, we want to start reading this file from here, and we want to store it in a way that we can read it and use it to plot information. So now I need to find a way to know the current index of this location, or the current line of this location, so that I can tell the script that, okay, go to this line and start reading this information from there. Then I can also tell it that for every line after this, convert them into a list of a list, or like a dictionary too as well. These are some of the important concepts that we have touched till the last point and all that. Then when I do that, I can then use that and generate a plot and all the stuff. So let's look at it. The first step is to be able to read the file. I will be able to read the file with Python. So I would say, let me create a function. Let me create a function. I'll call the function read last file, read underscore last underscore file. Sorry. It's supposed to be underscore. Then it takes an argument of the file path or the file name. So I'm not going to use path too much because they're in the same directory. So I'll just say name and file. I'll just use the file name. So, but I'll set it as none, assuming that it can be empty. And after creating that function, the next thing that I need to do is I need to create a variable that stores the position that I want to start reading my file from. So another way to do it like this is that you can call it get. Okay, let me call it get. Let me call it get last.
Hello, sir.
Feature in Python that's called with open. I'm going to say with open. So with open, I will specify the file path. And then what format or what mode do I want to read the file? I want to read the file in a read mode only. I'm not writing into it. If I want to write into it, I would specify maybe write or something. Then I would say as file. So what I'm doing is I'm saying open the content of the file path, read it as a file. So I'm just giving it as an alias. I'm saying read it as a file. So now I can now say content is equals to file.readlines. So when I do this, what happens is that Python will go into the file and read everything and convert it into a list of items. So basically, every line in this content becomes a list. So this will be a list. This will be index 1, index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4, index 5, index 6, till it gets to this, till it gets to the last point of the file. But I'm looking at targeting this. So now, once it reads that into that position, what I now need to do is I need to be able to say I want to iterate through or loop through this. So I'm going to say for index, which is going, our index is going to be the line number, yeah, the line number. But mind you, list in Python start with index 0. So this place that is 54 will be 53 normally in Python. So then I will now say text. The text is each line of each content in each line, the content in each line. So the text here, for instance, will be hash curve data. The text here will be tilde sign, a, depth, caliper, and all that. So now what I can do is I've set text, then I can say in, then I'll use an inbuilt method in Python called enumerate. Enumerate means that I want to be able to iterate through it. If you can see my mouse is saying that it's an iteratable and it returns an enumerate object. So what it's saying is that it's making your object supports what a concept called enumeration. Enumeration means being able to like count through an object, being able to count through an object, converting into something that you can enumerate from as a key value and all that, or index and value. So I'll pass this content into it. Then okay, I'll pass the content into it. So the next thing is, this is what I want to target. So I'm going to say, because I'm targeting this stuff, I'm going to copy this, for instance. I'm going to say if, then I'll say if this one in text. So what I'm basically saying is that I'm saying any line where you find this, return to me that line or do a task. So what I'm saying is if this is in the text, that it should go to this point. So now what that does is that I'm able to enter into that line. So now I can say start position is equals to index. What I'm doing here is that I'm saying that when you find this, set start position to be the index of wherever you find this tilde sign. So wherever you find the tilde sign, A is you get the index there and you store the start position to be that index. But if it doesn't find anything, the start position will still remain as 0. Then I can say return start position. So now with this, I'm terminating the loop here, for instance, and I'm saying that once you find this, just end the loop. So I can go back out here and then say return start position. So what happened is that if it cannot find this start position here, it will return 0. If it cannot find the start this content rather, if it cannot find a tilde sign A, it will return the start position as 0. But if you can find tilde sign A, the loop will terminate at any location that it finds out. Now let me go through it and explain again so that all our audience can understand. So I'm saying that I create a function. I said def get location. I'm supposed to even document this function more, but I mean I'll still like put some comment on it and all that. So I'm saying get loc. I call it get loc underscore file from file. So what I'm basically doing is I want to get the location of where this tilde sign A here, the index, the line number that it occurs or that it exists. It's just what this function wants to do. Then it takes in the file and read through everything. As it's reading through it, it's keeping track. But immediately it finds this, I'm storing it as the start position and I'm returning the function like that. But if I cannot find anything, it will return it as 0. So now the next thing to do is to say, okay, we want to get all the type of logs that were run. So all the type of log that were run is also found in this location. We can see all this information. So they will form the base of our header, of our table header. So I'll say def get, let's even call it log underscore head. Then it also takes the file path. I set it as a default none. Permit me. I create the index underscore start variable. I set it to be default of 0. So now, once I get that, what I need to do, I need to also create a variable called content. I'll temporarily hold our content like we have in the other angle or in the other end. I'm going to use the with open again. I'm going to say with open. Oh, sorry. With open, I'm going to specify the file path. I'm going to read it as read only because I don't want to modify the content. I can also write to the file if I want to write to the file. Oh, sorry, I had the typo there. So now, after I open it, what I need to now do is to be able to say it should read all lines. So I can say content is equals to file dot read lines. So now, file dot read line reads all the line. Then I want to get the log that is run. But if I want to get the log that is run, if you remember in our last class, we were able to specify index of an item. We specify, whenever we specify index, we're able to get an item in that index. Let me look for where we had that. I know we did something like that last week where we specify some index. Yeah, though I've commented it out, but I mean, last week we were able to specify what is in an index location or what's in a particular location, and we're able to return the items that are there. So what I now want to do is that I want to return the header. So what I'll do is I'll say type underscore log underscore run is equals to content and index underscore start. So Once I do that, the next thing I need to do is I need to be able to say I need to remove this tilde sign because I don't need it. So what I'll do is I'll say type log run is equals to type log run dot replace. So I want to replace this tilde sign. So I'll copy it. I'll bring this here. I'll put that in there. What do I want to replace it with? I want to replace it with an empty. Oh, sorry. I want to replace it with an empty string. I want to replace it with an empty string. So whenever I find this, it will remove it from the data. So that is more like also you are sanitizing your data or you are cleaning up your data. So then what I will now do is that I can now split it to convert it into a list. I can say it's equals to type log run dot split. So when I call the split method, it converts it into like a list as well. So what I will now do is I can now say return type log run. So now let's test these two stuff that we've done and let's see if it makes sense. From there, I will be able to explain further. So the first thing I want to do is I want to be able to run it. Let's run it here. So I would say import read last as last read underscore last. So remember we used all these imports last week when I created a function somewhere else and I was able to import it. So what we need to do is like for instance here we're able to call this function and we're able to. So now this means that I will have access to all the method or all the function in the other file. So let's see. Let's say read last dot, let's say start underscore index is equals to read read underscore last dot. So you can see we have access to all those methods. So the file that I want to read is this. So let me copy the file name. Let me copy the file name. So I've copied the file name, paste it here. Then it will return an integer. So let's even first run this one. Let's print start index. Let's see if it works. Okay. It's saying it has no get this from that. Why did he say that? So let's look at the reason why it's saying okay. So let me change the import. Let me import it like this other one. Oh, sorry, I made the as I said from read last import star. So what I can do is I can remove this. Okay, so let's run it again. Why is it saying that? Okay, let me remove this one. Let me first run this. Okay. Sorry, let me see. Maybe I'm calling the wrong name. This exists, so let me check. Maybe I'm giving it the wrong name. Why is it saying this is not defined? I'm coming. Okay. Sorry. Sorry, let me just run my Anaconda. I think because my GeoVigyan notebook is not running. Sorry. Why is it saying that? I'm coming up. I'm trying to find out why it's saying. It's saying this is not divine, but it is divine. Okay. Let me run all. Let me see what happens. The file exists, so why is it saying? Okay, so let me just let me test it in the other file. Just a moment. Let me test it here. Let me test it here. Let me test it here. Let me see. Okay, so it's printing here, so why is it not? It's working in the other place. Let me see why it's not working here. That means this import is not importing correctly. Let me try it one more time. So now, so it's working on the other end. I just want to be sure why it's not working here. Okay. Let me just do it on the other hand. Let me do it on the other hand since it's working on the other end. I think. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now it works. Okay, it just needed me to restart my kernel. Sorry for that. So now that I've gotten the index, so if you can see that the index printed out as 53. So now that we know that the index printed out as 53, so 53 means 54 here, because mind you, in Python, it's going to read this each line as a list of items. So 1 becomes 0, 2 becomes 1, 3 becomes 2, 4 becomes 5, like that. 4 becomes 3 till it gets to this point, actually. So that's why you're seeing 53 and not 54, to be clear specifically on that. So the next thing we want to be able to do is we want to get all the headers in that log. So let's test that as well. Let's say log run types is equals to ls dot. So I'm going to specify the file, and this item that I've gotten here, this index that I've gotten here, that is 53, I'm going to pass it here. So when I pass it there, if I say log underscore run dash type, it's going to print out. You can see, is it not exciting already? You can see we're able to manipulate this data and we're able to get this information. And this is the information that I need on this line. We're able to get that specifically. So you can see how we're able to retrieve that here. So now, for instance, we are able to use Python to extract this type of log that was run on this stuff. So the next thing we want to do is we want to also be able to get The next one to be to do is to get all this information line by line and read them into a Python list. So now let's write a function that does that too as well. So let me delete this. So what I'll do is I'll say def get underscore log underscore data set. So what I want to do is I want to get log data set. For me to get the log data set, what I need to do is I need to pass the file path again. File path equals none. The index underscore start. Set it as default 0, like I did the other time. So now I also create a variable called content. Set it to be a temporary list. The next thing I want to do is the log data. Log underscore data, then pass this like that. So now that I've passed the log data here, the next thing that I want to do is I want to use this with open as well again. So I will copy this here. And then the next thing I want to do is to read all of the line as well. So I'll copy this as well. So what I want to do is good. So now I'm reading all the line, but now there's a concept in Python that is called list comprehension or list slicing and all the stuff. So what I want to do is I want to say that it should start from here and give me everything till the end. Everything till the end of this file. So what I would do is I would just like say what I would just do is I would just say it should start from, so I'll just say sorry, content. I'm going to set it as content index start. Once I do like that, so what I'm telling this program here is that fetch me everything from the specified index to the end of the file. So what that does is that it's going to return every item there. So let's test that first. I'm not done with this function, but I'll just return it here. I'll return it here, then I'll modify it again. So let's call this one. Let's see what it will print out. Let's see what it will achieve. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to say let me just call it test first. Let's just say ls dot this, then let's say test. So now I'm going to run this now, and then let's see what happens. So sorry. So let me run. So okay, so let me restart the kernel. Let me restart the kernel. Okay, good. So now you can see it started picking everything from here. But however, this is not where it's supposed to start. I want to start immediately after this one. So what I would do is I would add 1 to this. I'll say this one plus 1. So let's run it again. You can see it has picked everything immediately. You can see it has picked everything immediately. Sorry. You can see it has picked everything immediately after this point. It has picked everything immediately after this point. So what I now need to do is that I need to convert each of these items to a list. So to convert that into a list, what we now need to do is we now need to do what is called list compression. So what I'll do is I'll say log underscore data dot append. I'm supposed to also remove. Okay, sorry. Okay, since I'm going to pass +1 to that, so what I'll do is I dot split. Then I'll say for I in content. So now, what this will do is that it will append for each line. It will append it into this log data. Then what I want to do is that I want to say after it has finished appending, at this point, I want to return this. Let me save that. Let me restart the kernel. Let me rerun all. Oh, sorry, I had a typo somewhere. Okay, so let me save this. Sorry. Let me rerun the kernel. Then let's run all. Good. So we can see now it has converted this into, it's saying show more because because the data are large, that's why it's doing that. But we'll convert this into a data frame soon. So now what we have done is that what we have achieved key stuffs. We have been able to get this, we have been able to read our data set, we have been able to pass this into a certain file type. So the next thing I want us to be able to do is to read it as a pandas data frame or Python pandas data frame. So let's say so what I can do is, okay, let's modify this method further because we already got our log header. Let's say log underscore header, let's say is equals to a list item, and because we already have this, because we already have, okay, so let's just put this, let's put the log type as a log header, because we need that for doing our data table much later. So what I want to do is I want to say first thing I need to append is log data dot end log underscore head. Then okay, so now what I want to do is I want us to read it into let me call this one data set. Let me change on to data set. So now what I want to do is I want to read this into pandas data frame. Let's see what happens if we read it into a pandas data frame. It kind of make more sense when we read it into pandas data frame. Let me clear this output. Clear cell output. So what I want to do now is to convert it into a pandas data frame. So I can say data, I can say log data frame. I can say log underscore data underscore frame is equals to pd dot data frame dot data set. So let me restart the kernel. Let me run all cell. Okay, good. So if I say log data frame, you can see now. But you can see now that we can see that it's showing now in a table format, but I need to change. The next thing I need to change is I need to specify that the index is what is in row 1. That's the first column. So it has converted this entire information into a data table. So data frame in pandas is like converting every information that you have into a form of table format that you can manipulate or play around with. So we need to convert this into to specify that we need to specify that how do I say it? We need to specify sorry, we need to specify like the row name so that it will not be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and all that. So that is what I'm going to do next. Sorry, I have to mute a bit. I want to cough. Sorry.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, your voice is not audible.
Okay. Sorry, I forgot that I was muted. Sorry. So there's this inbuilt function in Python. I say Python pandas that is called rename. So rename, and we'll say column is equals to log underscore data underscore frame, and then it has what is called I doc, then specify it as 0. So then I would say sorry, in place, it's in place. What's the correct spelling? I want to say in sit in place equals true. I want to be sure I'm right with the spelling or with the so let me run this. Let's see. Okay, said you got a wrong keyword call in place. Okay, let's run this again. No. So yep. So okay. So let me try it in another way. That didn't work. Let me say. So let's say this equals to log data frame and slash then let's say log data frame. Let's see. So now I would say columns equals to, I would say it's equals to so what I'll do is, okay, I'll say since I already have this one, then if I call this now, so okay, good. So if we can see clearly, we can see now that the depth is on this part, caliper, this and that for all the logs that were run specifically. Let me go back up. So as opposed to the way you are looking at it, that some data are not having a mapping. Now we've mapped all the data set essentially to to each of the column header. Now that we have mapped each of the data set to the column header, then we have been able to use pandas on it. But however, mind you that in this file, there are some data sets that we also need to sanitize a bit or clean up. And I'm trying to scroll down to show some of these data sets. Okay, the ones that have missing value, minus 9999999, that has minus 99999. So this minus 999 means that there is no data for that point, or there is a missing value. So now we can replace this with 0, with whatever, depending on whatever our criteria is. So the goal of this is not to give a perfect interpretation, but to just show you some of stuff that we can achieve with this. So now I need to fill. There's something called fill now. So I need to fill now with 0. Let's say fill now with 0. So let's see. You can see that 946 is showing this. So let's see what it will show now after we have filled now with 0. It hasn't filled. Okay, it's showing it as minus 999. So I need to convert the minus 999 into, okay, other way that I can do it is to convert the minus 999 into other way that I can do it is to convert the minus 999 into so I trade through and then replace all the minus 999. So I would just try and do that now. So what I'll do is I'll just okay. So let me think through how I'm going to do that. I don't want to look through it, so I would have to so I'll have to replace it actually. Replace value. So so what I'll just do is I'll just call the replace method. There's a replace method in pandas that I can replace whenever I find a certain value. I can replace it with a certain stuff. So let me try replace. I want to replace minus, oh sorry, 99 0. I want to replace it with 0. Let's see. Still not replacing. Why? There should be a way. I don't want to look through this data set. Okay. So maybe what I'll do is I'll drop none. Okay. So what I'll do is some of the data are important, so I don't want to. Okay. So what I can do is, since I know that it is only one column that is having that issue, let me try something. Or maybe I'm not, sorry. Okay. I may have to skip that, but I don't really want to skip it. Time. Okay, I think I will do an apply. Yep. So I will call a method in Python called apply. I think I would just say I'll call a method called apply. So what I'll do is I would say I can use what is called um, I can use what is called like a where operator. So how do I do it? 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 I can use I can use um I can use apply. So let's say I would say this is equals to this. Um, so I can call the apply method. So I'll say apply. Let's say apply. Then I'll say lambda. I'll say x is equals to x equals to 0 if x equals minus 999.000 else x. So let me run that. Okay. I think I'll rerun this. Let me restart my kernel and then run it again. So okay. I think I have another way of doing it. What I'll do is I'm not going to run it like this. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to remove this. So what I'll do is I'll say this is 0 if ILD equals or is less than 0. It is less than 0. Then I would say else ILD for ILD in log data frame LD okay. Oh, I get why it's not replacing it. Okay, so now I need to convert this one into an int. Yeah, so that's perhaps why it's not working. So okay, saying invalid trial for int base, this and that. Oh, sorry, it's supposed to be float rather. Good. So it has returned it now to, it has replaced it with 0 now. That was a bit troublesome. So so now we've been able to replace that. So wherever we find the missing value, let me see if it exists in other column. It doesn't exist in other column, but ideally we should have it taken care of in every column where we may find it. So the next thing that I need to do is for us to now be able to start generating our plots from this data set. So now essentially we've converted our well log, we've achieved a lot already. We've been able to convert our data set into like a table, and we can see that it says it has 950 rows and 13 columns. So which means we have 13 different columns and 14 and 950 different rows. So now how do we start making this into a plot? I have roughly like 20 minutes left. Wow, time goes so fast. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to start generating some of these plots. and I'm going to start that in a bit. We'll be using matplotlib. We'll be using matplotlib for that essentially. So let's start. Let's look at. So the next thing that we need to do is, let me see if I've imported what is called numpy. I've imported numpy. So what next thing that we need to do is we need to say we need to set the depth as the index column. So instead of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stuff like that, we need to set the depth as index. So I would say because in your log, when you are logging, the depth is the index. So I would say this dot I'll copy this depth. I'll say equals log data frame dot index. So let's see what happens. No, this is wrong. Sorry. I'm supposed to specify the index to be this. That's not supposed to be so. Index is supposed to be this. Sorry. Let me run this. Let me run everything downward. Okay, good. So this is supposed to be the index. Yep. So the next thing that we need to do is to be able to generate our plot. For us to generate our plot, we'll be using a library called matplotlib. And to do matplotlib, we would say let's first generate our basic plot, log data frame dot plot, using the plot function, and our x-axis will be our x-axis will be, let's say our x-axis is, let's just plot one of them first. Let's say our x-axis is this. Sorry, my keyboard is messing up. Then let's say our y-axis is depth. So our y-axis is the depth. Then we can specify a whole lot of things. So let's say our color is equals to, let's say, green. Then let's say our line width is equals to 1.0. Our legend, let's set it to be false. What's the spelling of legend? Sorry. Okay, so our legend, let's set it to false. We are saying that it should not show us a legend for now. Then let's specify the fixed size. So let's say 7,10. Sorry, fixed size is equals to couple. So let's say plt dot y lim. Okay, let's just use any random number. Let me just say 500. Let me just say 500. I would explain this part a bit. Just bear with me. Then let's say plt dot x line min. We are saying 0 to, let's say, 250. Then let's first plot it. PLT plot show. Let's see. No numeric data to plots. Okay. Colon, let me see where the error is. Okay. So let me see. Let me change this back. Okay. But I need to change some things in this plot. So I need to change some things in this plot because it's not showing the way I want it to show. It's supposed to plot as another type of graph. So let's see. Let me change that a bit. Let me look for another log type. Let me look for another log type. Let me say 500, 150. It's saying it doesn't have an attribute called while_lim now. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me comment this one out first. Show. Wow. Okay. I guess it needs me to restart the kernel. Let me just restart the kernel again. Oh, sorry. I'm coming. I need to verify why it's saying I have the matplotlib there. So I need to find out why it's saying it doesn't have. It didn't complain before, so I'm wondering why it's complaining now when I didn't really change much. Let me just 4535. Okay, so let me restart the kernel. It's not supposed to behave like that. Sorry, it's supposed to be able to show my content without complaining. It's plotting it, but it's complaining about. Oh, okay. So let me just try. Let me just try something. Let me just try. Let me try something different. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to try something. I would say, let's say plt.plot. I want to specify this as the x, x as the y, so I'm coming. Let me remove this. Okay. Let me remove the attributes X and Y. Let me see. It should be RO. Let me say this should be RO. Oh, let me start the kernel. Matplotlib has an attribute called plot. Why is it saying that? Okay. Let me try this again. I don't know why plotting is misbehaving, but I'll try something now. And sorry. Why is it saying we have? Why is it saying we don't have a module called Matplotlib? Why is it saying that? I think. Okay. I think I need to do like this. Let me say .py plots. Okay, let me try something now. Okay, it should plot now. This should plot now. This should plot now, but I'll revert it back to what it was supposed to be before. I just need to. Okay, so I'll revert it back to what it's supposed to be before. I'll revert it back to what it's supposed to be before. So what I'll do is I would say log data frame dot plot x is equals to cgr comma y is equals to depth. Okay, so let me see legend is equals to false. Then let me see fig size equals to 7,10. So let me comment this one out. The next thing that I need to do is I need to say plt dot ylm. Yep, good. It's seeing some of the function now. Let me say for 500, 500. Let me just pass a value for now. Then let me see dot x limit. So it's getting the x limit 150. Good. So now let me run this. Oh, it said you can't find the key called depth. So that means I'm spelling it wrongly. Okay, there's no h in the depth. So okay, let's see. Okay, so it's specifying this now. So now I need to put the color there. So then I'll say color should be red. Let me just give it a red first and let's see what happens. Wow, it's showing the way I want now, but it's not putting in my content. So okay, I have not specified line width. equals to 0.5. Oops, I need to rerun this kernel. So it's showing the way I want, but I needed to put my content. So it's not putting my content, so I need to find out why. This is working, however, it's not plotting my content. So now let me make it plot the content. I need to make it plot the content, so I need to fill it. So let me restart my kernel. Maybe that will resolve it not plotting the line. It's supposed to show the line, the curve. We are almost there. It's supposed to show the curve. Wow. Why is it not showing the curve? Okay, let me just pick another chart. Let me specify S to be something else. Okay, let me make this one black. Let me make this black. Let me see what happens. Wow. What's happening? Y limit should be my depth limit. I want to say Y limit should be this should be okay. I'm assuming there's no data in that point. That is why. I'm assuming there's no data in that point. That is why. So X and Y. Okay, so I'm assuming there's no data in that point. That's why. So let's try something. Let's say 1, and let's say this. Let's see what happens. Okay, yeah. So good. This should be 950. Okay, so let me look at this. Let me look at the depth value. So let me copy this to be the mean. Y limit. Oh, sorry. Let me copy that to be the mean, and then let me copy this to be the max value. I need it to show something. Okay, so we are getting there a bit, but I need to change the chart type. The chart type is not the correct chart type, so I need to change the chart type. I need to change the chart type. So what I'll do is I'll remove this part. I'll remove this part. Restart kernel. I'll rerun all. No numeric data. No numeric data. There's a numeric data there. So what I need to do is okay. So I get what I need to do now. So what I need to do now is to create a list. So let's say plt dot plot. I'm going to change something now. I'm going to say this and this. I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to comment this one out, and I'm going to say you should plot. So it's running. Let's just give it a couple of minutes. Okay. This is not showing the way I want it. So okay. So what I'll do is I would to limit that, to just see if it works the way I want it to work. What I'll do is I need to just say x is equals to this, and then x is equals to x. This is 0 to 50 or 10. Let me just see what happens. And let's say y. I want to see why it's not showing properly. It's supposed to show properly. So y equals to y 0, comma 10. And I'll say x. I would say y. Let me just write this one out. Okay, good. So now I think I know why it wasn't working properly. So I need to specify the fixed size now. So now I need to just comment this one a bit. Run it again. So before I plot it, I can say plt dot fig size seven comma is okay. Let me run this. Okay. Oh, I need to specify the fixed size. I need to specify the fixed size. Essentially, sorry, figure will be big fixed size. 7 comma 10. Let me run it again. I'll set the y limit and all that now. Sorry, because the number of axes is supposed to plus. Okay, so let me just try this now. Why is it showing multiple time? It's showing multiple time. Okay, I think I'll go with this. I'll remove this. I'll remove this. Okay. What I need to do is I need to kind of y limit should be so what I need to do is I need to fill. This is the way I want it to show, but I'm trying to figure out why this one at the center I'm trying to figure out why this one at the center is not showing the way it should. So let me remove this limits part first. Let me just see. No numeric data to plot. Why is it saying no numeric data to plot? The start scanner. I'm supposed to actually fill it, but I'm trying to find out why I'm getting something that is not working as expected. Okay, so let me run all. No numeric data to plot. No numeric data to plot. No numeric frame on this series is allowed. So okay, I think what I need to do now. I think what I need to do now is to I need to plot this stuff accurately. I don't know why it's not working as expected. I'm trying to detect what I'm doing wrong. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so let me remove this. Let's say plt dot y limit. Plt dot y limit should be the limit should be let me just specify 0 comma this. Okay, top bottom, the top and the bottom, the top and the bottom. So so what I'll do is I'll change this to 0. Then plt dot x limit. I'll change this to 0 comma 600. This should plot now. Why is it saying no numeric value to plot? There is numeric data there. I don't know why it's misbehaving. Trying to find out why this is misbehaving. No. This is something is wrong somewhere here, and I need to figure it out. Legend, line weight, color, What else am I not doing right? Okay, let's say pay 500. Let me just use any value. Let's see. Something is wrong. Oh, I get it. Okay, I think it's saying I need to rerun everything here downward. Now, why is this saying there's data set there? So why is it complaining? I think my laptop is misbehaving. What's happening here? There's a data set there, but it's saying no numeric data to plot. Let me just say .add. Let me comment this one out. Let's see what happens. There's a data set there. Okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Oops. Let me run it from here downward. Okay, so okay. So let's try it now. Okay. I get what's happening here now, but I need to reduce this one to be 595, and I need this one to start from 0. Good. But it's not supposed to be a straight line, so I need to find out why it is showing me a straight line. Let me change the chart type. Let me see. It's not supposed to be a straight line. It's not supposed to be a straight line. Let me see. The minimum. Okay, so let me remove X limit. Let me see if that will solve it. It's not supposed to be a straight line. The only thing we need to solve now is that it's not supposed to be a straight line, but it is showing straight. It's supposed to show in a curvy manner. That is the only thing I need to figure out. But this depth axis is showing properly. The depth axis is showing properly. Let me just see. The depth axis is showing properly. Let me just see what I can change. Depth axis is showing properly. Let me change the chart type to this. And let me say why is it showing straight line? Actually, this is okay, but I'm not okay with the fact that it's showing straight line. I'm not happy with the fact that it's showing straight line. So let's say this starts from 1 and end at this. It's not supposed to show as a straight line. Let me try something again. Okay. It's not supposed to show as a straight line. That's the only thing I need to figure out. Why it's showing as a straight line. matplotlib. Okay, so I need to find out why it's always showing straight line. It's not supposed to show straight line. Okay, I think I get why. It's seeing everything as, I need to convert all the data type. I think it's seeing some of them as something else. Okay, yeah. So I need to convert it into a float. Okay, so now what I need to do is, I need to convert the data frame that I want to plot. You will see that if I convert if I plot, so now the reason why it's plotting as a straight line is that it's seeing those data set as a string. So I'm supposed to pass them into a float. So I'm going to format them into a proper the appropriate data type. So what I'll do is I'm going to say, as I'm going to convert, I think I need to, that's what I need to do now. I need to change the data type. So we're almost there, sorry. I need to say log data frame. I need to say this because this dot type float. Yeah, good. Excellent. So we can see gradually we are getting there. Wow, sorry. I'm trying to make it as much as live as possible so that it doesn't look pre-planned. All this I'm just doing it from scratch here. I'm not using any resources, just like I would if I were to be working in the office. So that's why you're seeing it like that. So basically we've been able to generate a plot for this, but we can generate other plots. We can create a plot that's a subplot and combine them together. I will just fill it because of our time. I'll just fill the curve, and then after that I'll just try and explain what I've done so far again one more time. That will help everyone to kind of have an understanding of what is done so far. So let me just add a fill to it. So I will say let's add a fill. Let's say ELT dot fill between x. So we want to fill everything between x, log data frame depth, log data frame, str. So now what we want to do is we want to fill from 0 and want to fill with a face color or a face color of yellow. Sorry, it's saying that an argument is incorrect. and I need to find out. Oh, sorry. I must be silly. Don't mind me. So, sorry. Keep making. Okay, good. I mean, that shows we are live. We are doing it live. Okay, good. So, um, I would have loved to continue more than this, but because of our time, I would just need to go through or explain what I've done so far. I mean, we can carry a lot of analysis from here, but if I'm to go into all that, I mean, we'll take the whole day, and we spent more than our time so far. So what I would say is, okay, let me just explain what I've done so far. So let me just go through everything again. So um, basically, although there's a library that can do some of this stuff, but I mean, the goal is for you to understand how it's been done and how it's been carried out, and also help you build your data skill set. So, for instance, if you are to have a data set like this and you don't have an access to some tools and all that can do it, but you essentially can come up with a solution. So, for instance, I have this last file, and I was able to read it starting from this part, and we created this method here, and we were able to read the where the log types or the log types that were run, and after that we were able to get all the data set as a list of an item. Then when we get the data set as a list of an item, we can see that the log type that were run were extracted here, and from there we're able to get the data set and all the stuff that we generated. We specify the start index, which will be the index where we have this A symbol, and from there we converted it into a pandas data frame. Pandas data frame essentially allows us to have a geophysical data set in form of a table format that we can manipulate in an ID world. And then I then specify that everywhere it finds the missing value of minus 999, that it should convert it into like 0. I mean, you can fill it with any information depending on how you want to augment your data. So that is what that line that you're looking at currently is doing. And from there, we then check our data frame to be sure that it has converted those missing value to 0, which it has, and then we specify the depth index to be equal to this. And from there, we generate our plot. And how are we able to generate our plot? We're able to specify some of this stuff like changing the data type, because we know essentially that some of our geophysical data type are essentially like a float data type. So I said you should convert every data type in the data frame as a float. Mind you, if you are dealing with a data set that may have different value, that has different data type, you would have to convert it separately. But because I knew that, okay, this type of data set, you can convert it into a float. That's why I'm able to convert it into essentially like a float as well. So I converted everything as a float, and I then said, okay, you should plot the data frame, but I want to pick my X column to be the SGR values, and the Y column should be the depth value. So to plot the graph now, it's going to plot it as a graph of X against Y. But when it's plotting as a graph of X against Y, it's using Y as a depth and X for the SGR value. So, and then I said the color of the line should be black. I can make it thicker if I say I want it to be 1.0. You will see that the line will become thicker and more pronounced, depending on how much configuration you want to do. Then I said you should not put a legend. So the next thing is I specify the fixed size. We can make it bigger and longer than this, depending on how we want. I can say 17 by I can say 14 by 20. You can see it is a bit, I mean, it's a bit bigger. I mean, so I can say 14 by 10. It's still the same thing. So I can say 20. I can say this one should be 7, and run it again. You can see, like, it depends on how much of let me make this 40 so that it will be longer. So I mean, you can see essentially some of these stuffs that you see. So if you are doing your lithology log in your engineering mapping and other stuff too, you can use this essentially. Depends on how you collect your data set or how your data set look like, and you can carry out a whole lot of manipulation, mark different lithology out of this. So I then call the plus the show. So essentially we've been able to cover matplotlib, pandas, and let me show you all some of the so for instance, let me present. So we are able to cover this. We use this too. We use this. We use this as well. So we can go deeper in this and this as well, but essentially because of our time constraint, and that is why these are what you can use for image recognition and a whole lot of advanced machine learning stuff. This is what you can use for extraction of content from text to image and all those stuff. And there is a lot of science computation that you can do with this one too as well. Then this item here, Apache Spark, when you have large data set, it allows you to stream your data and do a whole lot of advanced stuff. Do we also use this too, which is what we like using installing all our setup and all that. And while I program it in this one, so there are a whole lot of stuff that you can master out there. But I mean, we merely just scratch the surface using Python, pandas, and matplotlib to carry out some geophysical stuff. I mean, we can do a lot of advanced stuff. Like I can go further in this, but because of time constraint and understand that this is a workshop and not full-fledged stuff, so I would like to stop here. If there are questions, I would like to start taking them. Where is my screen? So if there are questions, I would like to start taking those questions now. We've spent past our time already. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So we have questions. I will start. The first question is, can we use GeoSoft software for geochemical analysis, but difference in Python?
Yes, we can do that. We can do that. We can use it, and we can also build it with Python too. Essentially, I wanted to do this one too before today, but because of time constraint and we can't fit in a whole lot of things. This is a geochemical data, for instance, that is acquired in somewhere in US. I downloaded it from their repository, and like there's a lot of things you can plot some geochemical information on maps and all the stuff using Python too as well, and carry out a lot of analysis. And you can also use some geochemical software if you wish. So it's just you can see the data that were collected, the location that it was collected, the sample type, and all those stuff, and the lat long information, the location that it is collected, the type of lithology, a whole lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that we can do with this too as well, but this is geochemical data, pure geochemical data. You can see some of the values that are there, depending on what you want to interpret. But because of time, we may not be able to touch it, but definitely you can do all that in Python, and you can use a software if you wish. But the advantage of using it in Python and all the stuff is that it gives you flexibility to control your prediction. You can also use a lot of machine learning features to automatically predict stuff. Like what I wrote today now, you can convert it into a library and you don't need to rewrite it. You just feed it with data set. It's able to maneuver itself and all those stuff too. So that's just it.
Thank you, sir. Next question is, what are the principal controls on the climate while using machine learning?
Can you come again?
What are the principal controls on the climate while using machine learning?
Okay. It depends on your background in it and what you are looking at. So if you're looking at, say, a certain data type, you should have a background knowledge of what it should do and what the output should be. For instance, when I was trying to do this stuff and it was showing a straight line, I mean, I knew something was wrong because of the background knowledge that, oh, this is not how it's supposed to show. And I was able to find my way around trying to solve it. And I found out that it's treating my data set in a wrong format, and I was able to do the conversion. So the controls that you put in place depends on your domain knowledge in that area. So if you're working on climate geology and other stuff, what climatic conditions affect weathering, what climatic conditions affect soil, how soil absorb content and how rock absorb content and generate itself into soil and every other thing that you're looking at. If you're looking at how climate affects your engineering geology, like your dam, your road, and all those stuff too, your background knowledge in this aspect is usually what you program into control when you apply machine learning. Your domain knowledge is what computer is garbage in, garbage out. For instance, you saw I fed it with the data, I was drawing the wrong graph initially until I find a way to make it work. So computer is really garbage in, garbage out. Whatever I feed it in is what to do, but your domain knowledge is what to let you know if you are doing the right thing or the wrong thing.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next question is, can we anticipate and mitigate the effects of geohazards? If yes, how?
Okay. Essentially, you can mitigate a whole lot of stuff, but um, how you do it depends on a couple of stuff. It depends on the area that you're looking at and your geology your understanding of geology of the area. So with the understanding of geology of the area, you can put in many control measures in place to mitigate a whole lot of things, if that is the correct answer.
Thank you, sir. So the next question is, except remote sensing and petroleum geology, can we apply data science and machine learning in other earth science fields? If yes, please elaborate.
Yes, okay. Yes, you can apply it in everything. Especially, it's because of time. I'll have touched almost every key part. I wanted to touch geochemistry today because I mean my research work during my first degree was in geochemistry too as well. So you can apply it in geochemistry, you can apply it in geophysics, you can apply it in petroleum, you can apply it in fluid modeling, you can apply it in rock interpretation when you are interpreting your rock type. If you are doing proper feed mapping and all those stuff, you can generate your base map and create your lithology, your subsurface plot of how the geologic profile of the area looks like and all those stuff. You can apply it in a whole lot of things, but it depends on how far you are able to go in this stuff, like how far of Python you know, how much of all these libraries and toolset that you can manipulate to achieve this content or this stuff. Like you can also apply it in engineering geology. It's even easier to apply it in engineering geology in plotting all your old stuff. It's way easier to apply machine learning and Python in engineering geology. You can also apply it in sedimentology, like when you are doing your grain size analysis, your sigmoidal curve type and all those stuff. You can generate all those curve type in Python and carry out all your details analysis too. So there's no field in geoscience or earth science that you cannot apply machine learning and Python. It just depends on how far you've gone in Python, how are you able to use it. So this is just to draw our curiosity. The essence of workshop essentially is not to teach us everything that there is to know, but to show us some of the capabilities, some things that are possible, and then we can go ahead and solve more problems. Normally I would have just come up with a solution and just walk up through solution, but I entirely do it from scratch in our presence so that we can see what it looks like when somebody is working on some of this stuff. Some things will not work as expected. You try to resolve it, find a work around it, and solve the problem in a real life scenario. So that's why I made it in this format. Normally, some people just come up with solution and talk you through solution and all the stuff. But for you to see that, okay, this is how it is. I don't want to just raise your expectation and you see me show you, oh, this is possible, and then you are not being able to see me do it essentially like without already made solution. So that's why I started everything from scratch, like as if there is nothing, and build up something up gradually. There's a whole lot of stuff that we can do from this. So we can do fascia analysis and all those stuff too. We can, if we want to continue this now, for instance, we can do a whole lot of things like fascia analysis and many other stuffs that we can think of and all that. So we can predict geologic history as well. A whole lot of things that we can do. In fact, we can also generate things around our sample collection. If you collect sample and you want to draw hydrographic map and all those stuff, you can draw it in Python. You can generate it in Python as well. You can generate it in Python, machine learning, and you can build a model that automatically repeat that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next question is, what should be the sequence to learn Python, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data science? Which should I learn first and then what?
Okay, the first thing you should learn is Python. When you learn Python very well, then the next thing that you can now learn is data science or data analytics and all the stuff. Because when you build your machine learning and you are visualizing your data set, you would understand what it is doing. Then from there you can move to machine learning. Although you can skip machine learning, you can skip data science and move to machine learning depending on how good you are. I mean, I don't know how good you are in terms of grasping information, but for people that may not have that tenacity to shoot ahead and do some stuff, like grab some stuff easily, I would say go through Python, be very good at Python, move to data science or data analytics, then move to machine learning. And the good thing is that there are a lot of libraries that can help you become productive. But before you learn library, learn the foundation. The foundation or the rudiment of it is learning Python and understanding also the foundation of your discipline that you want to apply it to. So if you want to apply it into science, let's say you want to apply it in engineering geology, make sure that your engineering geology knowledge is correct and make sure that your Python knowledge is solid. So by the time you combine those two together, the world is just the starting point.
Okay, thank you, sir. So next question is, what is the limitations of using data analytics, especially in geoscience field?
Okay, the limitation is basically lack of domain knowledge or lack of domain expertise. So if you're applying data analytics and you don't understand geology or earth science, you would end up doing wrong interpretation. And wrong interpretation means that erroneous interpretation means that they may drill wrong location, they may mine the wrong location, they may prospect the wrong location, and all those stuff. The other limitation is lack of knowledge in terms of computational knowledge, in terms of how do you write some basic program in analytics. And then the other thing is not understanding your data. If you don't understand your data, you will do the wrong thing, because if somebody gives you a data that is wrong, if you understand your data, you should be able to prove that, no, I think this data is wrong, and demand for the correct data. So those are the ones that I think I can remember currently.
Thank you, sir. Next question is, can machine learning based techniques can be used instead of manual digitization of images?
Yes, that is why we had that tesseract. You can use it. This library, let me just go to present. This library here and these two libraries, if you combine them together, you can use them for digitization of image. If you read through this two library, you know, when you are doing well-log digitization, you are converting all those curve to a text. And before you convert it to text, if you are familiar with digitization software, you specify the start and the stop, which you enter a text. And once you start tracing, it is using the start point as a reference and detecting how much of a deviation your traces are from it. And from there, it's able to generate those value in a text file. So you can combine these two library, if you're very good at it, to generate digitization.
Thank you, sir. So next question is, how deep learning and machine learning based techniques are used for interpreting the remote sensing images?
Okay, it's a good question, and it's also a question that I would say if you're doing remote sensing, you are doing a whole lot of what is called feature extraction. And if you are doing remote sensing, you are also doing a whole lot of things that borders around image recognition. If you are doing remote sensing, you are also doing a whole lot of things around manipulating image and all that. So now deep learning essentially borders around some of this domain knowledge, like manipulating images, being able to predict some stuff out of images and all the stuff. So for remote sensing, say you're trying to trace a fault line using remote sensing, you can be able to apply deep learning in terms of how best to predict an image and know where the fault line is and all that. And this is essentially an example, or in summary, an example of a use case. But however, you can do more research on how you can apply it, because I may not be able to show all that here because of the time frame. But that's just to give an idea of how these items cross each other in terms of how they work.
Thank you very much, sir. With this, we came to the end of question and answer round, and we have learned a lot and added to our knowledge in field of data analytics and machine learning in geoscience. Thank you very much, sir, once again.
Thank you.
And there is an announcement for participants. Please do fill the feedback form, which will be shared shortly in WhatsApp group also. So, sir, anything you would like to convey to the participants from your
Okay,
side?
to the participant, I would say you can learn more than this. I mean, you can even be better than me. I mean, if you apply yourself in the learning. The basic idea of today is to do it in real life and make mistakes in your presence, see the mistake, and I try to resolve the mistake, so that would let you know that there is a lot of work that needs to be done and put in place, so that it doesn't look like magic and you think, okay, because there are several workshops that people go, they live with, oh, it's possible, they are excited, and then when they go back home, they are not able to solve anything because the instructor or the person that anchored the workshop did not do a real life scenario in their presence, did not make mistakes in their presence. The person just come up with a already work solution, just run the command and everything shows, and they are like, wow, this is great. But the essence of this is that you saw me write all this stuff from scratch, and that should be able to challenge your curiosity and push you to want to get better. So I would say for the participant, get better at some of these skill sets and apply it in geoscience. I can't wait to see some of the stuff that you are going to build with this. I mean, when you build some of them, if you know my details online on LinkedIn and any social media, Instagram and likes, you can tag me on it. I can reshare some of your work, and let's see a lot of good work from you. Don't just attend this workshop and go back home and sleep and not apply some of the ideas that you have drawn from here. This is essentially just serve as a pointer. So I expect you now to start researching deeper about Python, about NumPy, about Matplotlib, about Tesseract, about TensorFlow and the likes. So this should awaken your curiosity. That's just what I would say to the participants.
Thank you very much, sir. That was a very good suggestion to the participants of learning and from the mistakes we are making. Thank you very much, sir, for being here with us for 2 days and enlightening us on data analytics and machine learning. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.